Here we go, here we go, here we go. We back again. I told y'all we ain't gonna let you get no air. We ain't gonna even let you come up for air. Here we go, man. I got my boys in the building. Got the professor. Boy Mark and Mark. Brother Mark and Mark in the building. Boys ready, them boys hype. Them boys got hype. Let's run it again. Let's run it again. Let's run it again. Let's run it again. Let's run the same play. Run the same play. Same play, boy. Let's get it. Yes, sir. We're back. We're back. Welcome, 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 family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The gracious host, Dr. Juice, in the building. The most gracious, humble servant of Urban Matters Black Media Group, where we don't apologize for being black. We got my side kicks in the building. We got my pilot, my co-pilots. They say they piloting today. I'm gonna just sit back, man. I'm gonna put them on. I'm gonna put them boys on beast mode today. Them boys say they ready. Them boys say they got the content ready. They finna run it. We had a bunch of ghost watchers on the program last night. We know they was ghost watching because they hit us up first thing this morning with all kind of bugs in their ass. They had bugs all in their ass from that program last night, man. So I'm gonna back up on it, man. I'm gonna back up, man. Hey, listen, I love it though, man. At least we educating people, giving people an alternative source of education here at Urban Matters Black Media Group. And Urban Matters Matter Live Chat, we still doing that thing as well. And professors bringing that knowledge. Now we got my boy Mark and Mark in the building. He's an entrepreneur, black entrepreneur. He's all about black business ownership. And we're gonna get ready to start dropping some jewels on the family so we can start focusing on economics, black economics specifically, and we're all about group economics. We're all about circulating that black dollar from our black jobs and our black entrepreneurship and our black neighborhoods and our black. I can go black forever, man. We always tripping about Trump saying something about black jobs, man. Come on, man. Y'all need to stop falling for all that goofy rhetoric, man. And so it's a lot of dangerous rhetoric out here too. That's what got our former president shot. But see, they try to make it, they try to justify it and make it normal. They normalize it when it's going towards the Republicans. And it's still not right. I'm not taking one side or the other, but no, I remember at one point in time, you couldn't say nothing reckless about the president. Now that shit just like free game now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, man, these cats is off the chain, man. Listen. All I know is Trump, if Trump win, America, especially black America, we back. Because I don't know about y'all, man. I'm a business owner. And I was eating, man. I was eating full course meals when Trump was in office. Now I'm back down to damn leftovers. So it is what it is. I think what it is too, family. Hey fellas, I think I'm not wrong. I'm not crapping on nobody who have a 9 to 5, but I think that people that have 9 to 5s and government jobs and all of that type of stuff, I think they more so like voting Democrat so they can just barely be getting by. But one thing about business ownership, I can say this, man, you can build some type of wealth off it. Because like I say, man, I've been down for about 8 months and man, I had enough savings put up where I was able to like manage. So yeah, Vault, you on the moderator tonight, so make sure our Facebook signal coming through and make sure we get all our comments in. Family, look, make sure you like and share. As soon as you come into the building, like, share, and get in our comment section, man, because your feedback is very, very valuable here at this platform. And you are the ones that make this program. This is not about us. We're not trying to get likes. We like what you like. So we're trying to get you to engage you to make sure that we get your voice heard. And that's what this platform is for. And like I say, we're gonna start, putting the in the corner. You'll see right over here in the corner of the I think the left side of your screen right here. You'll start seeing a QR code where we can start collecting cash out, whatever, whatever. We haven't done it yet because I'm trying to gain your trust, family. I want you to know that hey, we are being fully transparent here at this platform here at the Urban Matters Black Media Group. And Dr. Juice would never for a chance. Listen, I had my own Chamber of Commerce, and I call it African American Chamber of Commerce. But now we're calling ourselves Foundational Black American. And that's what we own. We own business. We're standing on business. So, hey, y'all guys, come on in. Introduce yourself, fellas. Let us know what's on the menu today. What's on y'all mind?
All right. Well, I'm Mark Evans, and I absolutely love my people, and I've been loving them for a long time, ever since I opened my eyes. I want to say, but I think the thing I want to speak on today is the prison pipeline. I want to speak on the prison pipeline. I think that's real important, and also some of the word salad that we receive on the daily. You
Very,
know,
yeah, I feel you. I feel
those
you.
are the two things that I want to touch on today.
Okay, okay.
All
Thank
right,
you for
Professor
sharing.
Boss.
Thank you for sharing, Professor.
Hey
What's
man,
going on?
y'all already know. Cross the highway, 3 Ds, all the way from the A, Atlanta, GA, man. Where we too busy to hate. I'm straight up B1, bro.
Like first, huh?
Yes, sir.
Like first. So you see the question that we put in the for the topic section today. What benefits do foundational Black Americans get when voting for the Democrats? Right? And as you can see, also we have what does voting no matter what get us? What does voting no matter what get us, Professor? Hmm? And why do
Well,
we trust politicians with our ancestral legacies? And is political ignorance undermining foundational Black American prosperity?
when I hear that, when I hear vote no matter what, it's a lack of. It sounds like a lack of planning. It sounds like a lack of organization. In other words, I don't have a plan. I don't have a strategy. I don't have an approach to nothing but, I'm gonna just throw the spitball on the wall and see where it lands. I'm gonna just throw the dart out there and see where the dart goes. Um,
Hmm.
we gotta get past that. We gotta get past that. Um, so I have a lot of questions around the mindset of that, and I'll say this much about that. When I hear those questions, in my opinion, the people who ask those type of questions, those people are not they're not business owners. Business owners don't ask that kind of question. Because a business owner, and we're all business owners, and what's the main thing we're trying to make? We're trying to make a profit.
Yes, sir.
We're negotiating. Business owners, think about your business, think about your day-to-day activities. You're out here, you're marketing, you're selling, you're negotiating, you're negotiating. So there's no negotiation associated with voting no matter what. It's almost like you you you're rolling over like a dead roach to be ran over.
Hmm.
I'll rest with that.
Okay, thank you for that, Professor. Thank you for that. And we're here today, man. Make sure y'all like and share this, man. Please. I'm gonna get ready to send out some likes and some invites and get ready to tag some folks here and do my homework. Whenever we start this broadcast, we like to try to bring all the family members in because I'm seriously concerned about y'all participation in this platform because I'm telling you, most of the facts that we're presenting on this program are researched, verified, and we are verified, certified foundational Black Americans on this platform. We are literally Black first. If nothing else matters, but except being Black first. So I want to play y'all this. Speaking, piggybacking off of what Professor said, like who do they have a plan? Do they have a strategy going forward, y'all? Because this voting just because stuff, listen, it is undermining the prosperity of Black America, foundation of Black America. Preferably, yes, Kamala, we do specifically need stuff. She talking about, no, I'm not gonna do anything specific for Black people, but she doing specific stuff for the Asian community. She's doing specific things for the ABC LMNOP community. She's doing specific things for them J people community. Y'all knew who I'm talking about, them J people. You can't even say their name now. They get so butthurt about you saying their name, they try to come at you with all type of anti-Semitism rhetoric and anti-Semitism. They try to say that you're anti-Semitic. Y'all knew who I'm talking about. I don't want to have to say their name because
leave my people alone.
I'm gonna leave them alone right now. But boy, they sure better they better stop being so butthurt about nothing. Hey, you know what? The Bible say. The Bible say God say I never forgive the tribe of Esau. So I'm gonna leave it right there. Okay, I'm gonna leave it right there. You feel me? Let's see if we can pull up this.
Well, while you do this, I'll leave you. I'll ask a question and leave you something to think about. Do you realize that we as a people, we can't do anything without somebody else writing us a check?
And that's
somebody
that's the issue today.
Yeah.
That's why we.
Yeah, we as a people, we can't do. Somebody has to write us a check to do anything that we want to do from an organizational perspective. We need to change that, bro.
Absolutely. So we need to change. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just gonna say, and we tend to wait for that check. Mm-hmm. We tend to be on pause until we get that check.
Well, we have Stockholm syndrome, you know.
Yeah, we've been trained to just stick that hand out, and we can't do nothing unless we get it. And so wow. That's where us coming together come into play. Because if we can raise millions for a calamity to be in the White House, how in the world we can't raise $1 million or $2 million for Dr. Umar to build a school to help our kids and people like him?
I know, right?
And so we got to start redirecting our monies to things that's going to directly benefit us and stop waiting on them to write laws and do things to benefit us.
Well, you know what vote no matter what means to me when I hear that, it sounds like an old slave waiting on the master to come by and leave us something, leave us some chitlins, leave us a piece of ham hock, master, leave us some hog ears, hog head, leave us some crumbs.
Just throw it out on the pile and we'll pick it up out the dirt.
Yeah, we gonna vote no matter what, master.
Yeah,
and we're gonna vote for you no matter what, because we believe in you.
No matter what, master.
Well, here goes the next leader that black people think gonna be their savior, foundation of black Americans think gonna be their savior in America. And there's a lot of these jokers gonna go out here and go do the same thing they did in 2020 and wind up with nothing. So I gotta let y'all hear this, fella. So here it go, man. Y'all make sure y'all put on your trigger alert. Trigger. I'm gonna go ahead and put out a trigger warning. Trigger warning for all you folks that are waiting on a savior. I'm gonna go ahead and forewarn you. Trigger alert. Here we go. Here we go.
Do to fix this problem with inflation?
All right, thank you.
Well,
the question is
what else
the question
are you going to do to fix? What else?
The question is they're asking her about inflation. If you happen to be the leader of the free world, how are you gonna fix this global inflation? Not countries' inflation, but global. Y'all know the way of the US dollar, so goes the world. So if the US dollar collapses like it's doing right now, y'all know that the stock market 3 days ago bottomed out. 1,000 points. Went into like stagnation mode, they call it. Stagnation. Not inflation, but stagnation. Not what's the other word they like to use, Professor? They got stagflation and they got inflation, and then they have another word that rhymes with inflation.
They're talking about recession now.
Recession, and everything else. Okay, here we go. They asked this woman, what is her strategy? What's her policy? What's her agenda for addressing the economic, especially, y'all know that's what we're talking about on this platform today, black economics. So if she ain't got an economic plan for the world, you know black people on the bottom of the totem pole. Here we go, run it.
Are you going to do what else are you going to do to fix this problem with inflation?
All right, thank you. Well, let's start with this. Prices have gone up, and families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more.
What the hell is she talking? All right, I'm gonna let it play.
And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up. That's about having to stress and stretch limited resources. That's about a source of stress for families that is not only economic, but is on a daily level, something that is a heavy weight to carry. So it is something that we take very seriously, very seriously. And we know from the history of this issue in the United States that when you see these prices go up, it has a direct impact on the quality of life for all people in our country. So it's a big issue, and we take it seriously. And it is a priority, therefore.
What else?
The fuck?
That's called no answer. Word salad.
Are you going to do to fix this problem with inflation?
Hey, I'm done, man. I'm done. Now, if you wanna go vote for that, good luck. Let me stay the hell away from you then. Okay?
I mean,
She
these
danced,
are
she tap
politicians.
danced. Oh my God.
That was, I don't know if that was a tap dance because she did it so poorly. Oh
That
God.
that one was like the electric slide around the damn issue.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know? What did she say?
A whole bunch of nothing. It's like she's writing a essay in college, and she don't have enough words, so she put a lot of filler in, and she repeats stuff a lot, and that is not what I look for, to be sitting in front of Kim Jong Un, and trying to negotiate something.
How we
Or
gonna compete with China with that bullshit right there, man?
right.
How we gonna compete on a global level, Professor? You always talk about, foundational Black Americans don't have a competitive economic edge in their blood and in their bones. We don't understand what competition is. That's kind of the reason why we're falling below the economic median of being able to at least exist in the middle class. Right? When we having that discussion earlier today.
Absolutely, we were talking about the threshold for the middle class, which is $125,000 of income. That is the benchmark that the United States government used. Okay, but here's the other part to that, right? On the domestic side,
Remember, Professor, drill mode. Drill mode.
right?
I need you to go into drill mode.
So here's the question. Based on when she's talking about inflation, I would have liked to have heard, what is the greatest risk? Do you know what the greatest risk to the biggest health risk facing Black children today? Do y'all know the answer to that?
STD.
Nope. How about
Education.
you,
Education.
Dr.? No, sir. It's not. No, sir. The biggest health risk to Black children in America is eviction.
Wow. It stems right back into economic deprivation.
Right.
It's eviction. That's the biggest health risk.
Wow.
So if you are trying to negotiate with these other countries, they're going to put that in your face. You got all these sanctions and things that you're trying to do globally, but at home, your house is in disrepair. So before you can even go to the rest of the world and dictate to them how they should be living, you need to clean your own house up. You need to get your own economy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother Mark, you want to chime in on that?
No, I agree. This this person here is just amazing. And then what's even more amazing to me is that we have a lot of people out there who are so emotionally bound because, you know, she, you know, she actually lead in about three battleground states. Can you believe that?
Wow.
They call that a bump. They call that a bump. They call that a bump. But let me just tie this into what you were saying earlier, Brother Mark, because one of the things that you wanted to talk about, and this ties right into the prison pipeline. Now, let's keep going with eviction. So you know you got a high percentage of single mothers because black men have been disenfranchised economically. That's why we're having this conversation. So now, you have a single mother raising a boy or boys. By the time these boys get to be a teenager, first of all, nobody's teaching them manhood because in this culture now, manhood is toxic. So you got to be careful about teaching these boys how to be a man because you got these other group of people trying to convince them that they have an option of who they think they might want to be. Okay? But if he has a strong alpha male DNA, which a lot of us do, he is feeling his manhood. He's when you go from puberty to adolescent to young adult, that is a natural process. So now, here he is, 13, 14, 15. Now, when y'all was growing up, just like me, we would hustle. We would go out to the fruit grove. We had a fruit grove we'd go to, pick a few oranges or a hustle. They don't have that. So you know what they're doing now? Or at least in Atlanta, they're breaking in cars. They're stealing. They're killing. So there's a correlation between this eviction rate that is a health issue for black children, and it leads to the criminal pipeline because nobody is teaching the boys how to use their hands, as you pointed out in our last session, Brother Mark. The only thing that they're using their hands for right now is to break in somebody's car and steal what they can steal. But you want to vote no matter what.
Right.
Vote blue no matter who. Vote blue no matter who. No vote blue no matter who.
I don't get it.
And that mentality is nurtured in the society. Why? Because that mentality is nurtured in the society because the higher ups understand that they can continue their million, if not $1 trillion industry. Because as long as we killing each other, and as long as we idle and doing idle mind is the devil workshop, and you get to doing things, be it from making babies to stealing to selling illegal items and to smoking illegal items or popping illegal drugs. All of that is a multi-million-dollar industry because look, it goes all the way from when you shoot somebody, you got an ambulance that's got to come, you got police that got to come out, you got lawyers, you got funeral homes, you got jails, you got when you go to jail, you produce money with labor, so forth and so on. So this type of mentality is nurtured, and they know it. because it makes them money. So that's why it's so important. You remember growing up in elementary school, we had recess. We can go out and burn off some, young men could burn off some of that extra energy. They don't do that now. They keep them bottled up in the class. They about to explode, but that's how young men are wired. But they want them to feel bad about being young males. That's why you hear all this girl power, that girl power, that. Most of these people talking about girl and woman power, they have little boys. So you got little boys, and you talking about girl power and girls are number one all
Wow.
the time.
Wow.
And then on
Wow.
top of that, now this little boy hearing how toxic it is to feel the way that he's feeling inside of himself. So you're actually making your young man, your young male feel some kind of way. And then
Wow.
that once again that continues to nurture this prison pipeline. And we have to stop stop falling for everything like the child is running us, and we got to start realizing there's a reason why we've been on this earth for so long. We know things, and the child have to learn how to follow our guidance and not us follow their guidance. And because if we continue following a child guidance, we're going to continue in this path. And unfortunately, in America, they done started this thing of basically, let's throw money at the problem. Let's throw money at the problem. Oh, you acting up, little Johnny? I'll get you a game for your Atari. What is it now? PlayStation. So that type mentality is not good because these young men, these young people, they need attention. And we in a habit of throwing electronics at them instead of giving them the attention that they need.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, bro, Mark, you be right on it, boy. But
Here's
listen, and I tell people that that's what I'm trying to get. That's what I'm trying to double down with, man. I don't care about you, dusty old Negroes. Okay, excuse my French. Excuse my, y'all. I know I be coming up with some catchphrases, right? But I'm only concerned about the youth. I know a lot of y'all think that y'all matter, but here at Urban Matters, the youth is what I'm concerned about, and the youth is what matters here, so that we don't keep repeating the same generational curses. I'm sick of it. Okay? Y'all are dusty, you're tired. Just hand the damn baton off, man. Hand the damn. We running a marathon, man. We're in the middle of a crisis right now. We're in war right now. We're at war. So this is a war briefing for the youth. Okay, so that we don't keep repeating the same tired rhetoric, the same tired ideology, the same tired culture. We're allowing all these people to come in and culture vulture our culture. Y'all ever pay attention to something like everybody want to be black, right? Everybody portray they black. Oh, they dress like they black people. The black people culture is what everybody doing. Even the Chinese trying to be us, man. But guess what? Nobody wants to be a nigga though. Huh? That's my word for the day. Everybody want to be black, but don't nobody want to be a nigga. So a nigga is somebody who keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. We keep doing the same thing, we keep voting the same way, but we think something different gonna happen. I got this one particular older guy. He always tuning in. I know he be ghost watching the platform, and I be trying to connect with him. I try to like vibe with him. I try to like communicate with him and dialogue with him. But he on that same civil rights nothing burger stuff. You feel me, family?
Yes.
So, like I say,
Yes.
let me play this quick thing, and this gonna go to that Reddit. You know how a lot of them talking about, oh, Trump, Trump, Trump. Trump scared to debate Kamala Harris. No, it's Kamala Harris that's doing the running. She the one running because she got ways. They done already blasted Trump, so all Trump dirty laundry is already out there. Trump done bounced off the wall. They done stole shit at the wall and see if it stick against Trump. Trump slide through all that shit. I'm gonna play this to show y'all, man, what's going on. Trump is not the one that's running. It's Kamala Harris that don't want to debate Trump. Because she know Trump don't give a damn. Trump gonna give her that work. Trump is reckless with his mouth. And a lot of times Trump just stand on truth. It's his delivery, man. Everybody can, oh man, Trump, man, he just that. Y'all can't take that delivery. See, a lot of y'all wouldn't hug when y'all was little kids. I get it. A lot of you wouldn't hug. And so now you're looking for that hug. You're looking for that emotional attachment. And a lot of you got emotional outrage. You got a lot of emotional imbalance about yourself. And you're looking for somebody to just treat you nice. Well, guess what, family? That funny little world is over. That funny little world is over with. Ain't nobody gonna treat you nice, man. Grow the fuck up. Stop being childish. There we go, man. I'm running this right quick.
And I'll talk us into it. We've been trained into that. There we go.
Now to the race for the White House. Donald Trump holding his first major event since the Democratic ticket was finalized. The former president now agreeing to debate Vice President Harris. An announcement made today in a lengthy news conference.
Donald Trump speaking today from Mar-a-Lago in a press conference filled with misleading claims and insults.
October 7th would have never happened. Russia would have never hit Ukraine had the election result been called differently. She destroyed San Francisco. She destroyed the state of California along with Governor Gavin Newsom.
The former president making it official that he will face Vice President Harris in an ABC News debate next month. Trump also announcing 2 other debates which are still up in the air.
So I just look forward to these debates. I think it's very important that we have them. I hope she agrees to them September 4th, September 10th, September 25th. And I think they'll be very revealing.
Harris, who previously committed to the ABC News debate, which President Biden had agreed to, reacting this afternoon.
I'm glad that he's finally agreed to a debate on September 10th. I'm looking forward to it and hope he shows up.
Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, meantime continuing their battleground tour with a stop in Michigan today before heading to Arizona.
And Vice President Harris has said she is open to considering additional debates, but only after the one on ABC News on September the 10th.
So what did she just say? She said she pretty much ain't gonna do but one of those debates. That's what she basically saying in a nutshell. Man, that chick running scared like a damn cat getting chased by a pack of goddamn pit bull. She don't want to, I'm telling you, she has too much garbage, man. And don't get me wrong, man. I'm not taking up for one side or the other, but I'm just trying to tell you, man. Trump, they talk that noise about Trump. And Professor, you said it a few times. Them people are using technology, them people using AI. And a lot of people thinking that, okay, the Republicans and the Trump administration, that them people are just on some country bumpkin, redneck, hillbilly stuff. Them people are using data. Them people are using all types of information, and they running a hell of a campaign. I don't care what you say. They running a masterful campaign. I digress.
And on top of that, did y'all also notice that? Did y'all read where Trump campaign saying that their emails was hacked? Since we were talking about internal, they say Trump campaign says internal communications were hacked. So they are using. Everybody's using technology, and they got masterful people behind the keyboard and behind the scenes. They trying to get get as much intel on their opponent as possible. We need to take that and run with it ourselves. We need to learn how to start getting as much intel so we can get the best result in whatever it is we're doing, and stop just going with the surface information, because you know it's going to get deeper.
Absolutely. This who Kamala Harris them got hacking Trump campaign. Y'all know I'm petty. Y'all know I'm petty. Professor Voss went to school with him.
That was when I was in special ed.
Every time you take your helmet off, right?
That's when I was in special ed. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm so happy about, you guys. You know, for so long, I've had conversations among black men. You know, we constantly talk about sports. We talk about LeBron, Kobe, and don't get me wrong, I played a lot of ball and I enjoy sports. But what I'm mostly impressed with is the fact that you all have reached a level where, whether we agree or not, you know, we're demonstrating that we can get on the platform and we can talk about something that is not sports, is not entertainment, is not goofy stuff, as Dr. Juice would always say, but it's things that we should be serious about. It's things that we should be concerned about. It's things that impact our daily lives. So I'm excited to be a part of conversations that we can air. We can put it out there on the streets, in the public, and hopefully, this would create some thought-provoking ideas in other people's minds.
I agree.
I have a quiz question for y'all. You know, I always have a quiz question, right? So here's my other quiz question for you, fellas. What percentage in America are eviction filings against black families? What percentage? You want me to ask that question again?
Yes.
What percentage in America are eviction filings against black families? What percentage of the eviction filings in America?
I would say 36%.
How about you, Dr. Juice? He don't want this F, because you already got one, Brother Mark. He might have gone away. Well, while he's gone, I'll get the answer to that, because I have many more questions. And this time, oh, here you go. You want that F? Did you hear my question, Dr. Juice?
I missed it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to run my little grill out there. I got me a little chicken on the grill.
He's smoking it up.
Chicken.
I got a turkey leg smoking myself. The question was, what percentage of eviction filings in this country are against the black family? Brother Mark said 30%. What is your answer, Dr. Juice?
Boy, listen. I got a little side gig that I'm doing, man. And I serve eviction documents. I do private investigations. I do a genre of things for the court filings. I literally have I have a state shield. I'm a state officer. And I know at least 75% of the documents that I serve are evictions and have something to do with mortgage foreclosures.
Okay, so the answer to that question that I just asked,
I say 75%.
So you say, Brother Mark said 30.
36.
You say 75%. Well, The answer is of all of the court filings of eviction against black families in America are at 50%.
50. Ooh.
We met in the middle.
Yep.
So what does that say to you? What does that say?
That say homelessness is on the rise in the black community.
And it's saying these policies are affecting us at a high rate. These policies are affecting us, yet we're still blind to that fact, and we're willing to vote for somebody simply because they have a vagina and they black.
It look black.
Look black, yes, correct.
So with all of these compelling issues, look at all the issues we're sitting up here talking about. All the issues we're sitting up here talking about. Why would someone say vote blue no matter what? Why would they say that? Why would they not have conversations about the implications and ramifications behind these sort of data points that we're making?
Now, how about this? How much has black adolescent suicide rates, how much have they risen?
I get the answer to that.
Let's pull up some of these charts, Professor. Let's get some of this stuff on the screen.
Rates.
Oh, you want me to pull that? Okay, hold on. Let's find that.
I
gotta work for you.
It's 36%. 36%. Yep. 36% spike in 2021. Yeah, let's see if I can share it.
So rather than say vote no matter what, why are we having conversations about that, and how can we build strategies? How can we plan solutions to address those things in our community? Because let me tell y'all fellas something. Trump, Kamami, and all these people, they are not sitting at home coming up with plans and strategies for you to address these issues in your community. All they're telling you to do is vote.
That's right.
Wow.
Why aren't we having conversations like this on a national level as a people? Why are we having these conversations? Why are we asking these questions in our communities? Why are we just throwing our hands up in the air and just vote no matter what? Maybe maybe the master might give us a few crumbs, maybe.
Let's get some of the questions in the comment section. Can y'all please engage us? We got my man, Minister Goodbar. He says, when it's time to do some real black work, why do we fold? The question pertaining to everybody that want to be black.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question.
And he also said she gonna get what she wished for. Y'all engage us in the comment section. We need them comments, man.
And you know what's funny? You know, just like earlier when we was talking about culture vultures. You know, it's amazing how everything gets popular once they squeeze black people out of it. I'm gonna use break dancing as the point of this. This is a good example.
I know
Break
where you're going.
dancing. We've been doing break dancing for however long, and then we get tired of doing it, and they begin to make it into something, I'll say, and make it popular in their little circle, and now it's an Olympic event. Breakdancing, breakdancing. But now, whose face is on breakdancing? See, our face isn't on that, and it's a quote unquote positive Olympic event, and that's you know, and
They
when we talk
literally
about
put it in the Olympics. You're right, bro, Mark. They
yes,
literally put it in the Olympics this year. Breakdancing is in the Olympics, y'all. If y'all kind of slow on the information, and guess who they making the face of it? Latino, Puerto Ricans. What? Come on, y'all know we was the original B-boys. Y'all go check out Tariq Nasheed's movie. It's called Microphone Check. That is a great movie. I have it, man. I wish I could play it on here, but they'll give me a strike on it if I play it. But we can still play the clip on it. You know what I'm saying? And man, that's a great movie, man. Y'all have to go check it out, man. It's telling you how they're literally like trying to hijack hip hop. They're trying to take it from Foundation of Black Americans. They're trying to
yes,
hijack breakdancing. Family, I keep telling y'all, these people are not coming here to be your friends and your ally. These people are
no,
literally trying to eliminate you. They're trying to take
yes,
you out of the box, and you better wake up.
exactly what they're doing
Go
in
ahead, bro, Mark.
Egypt
I ain't
with
mean
the
to catch you.
pyramids. No, you
Yeah,
dead on it, brother. Same thing they did in Egypt. What they're doing in Egypt in the pyramids.
absolutely.
They they covered half the artifacts and pyramids up or temples up with Lake Nasser, the largest lake in the world, man-made lake in the world. When they dammed up the Nile River so they can starve out Africans that's been dealing with that river forever, and they knew when to plant, when not to plant. But what did they create? They created a bunch of starving Africans that they can make money with. And then in Egypt, they're they're remodeling and reconditioning the pyramids that's been there for thousands of years, and they're repainting things that were blacker than my shoe. They're painting them light to have them reflect what they want them to, which is the
Wow.
light skinned person. So these type things, and there's a lot of evidence. You can see it. You can see people who was there years ago and people who recently went. So we got a lot of this stuff we need to see. We need to take
Hey,
pictures
bro,
of. We
Mark,
need to
and,
document.
and, and speaking of that, I need you. We're gonna do a segment on that. We want you to show how they trying to whitewash everything that's originally black, and I'm gonna need you
Yes.
to do a special segment on that. And we're gonna have you and the professor, and y'all gonna present these facts. And let me play y'all something real quick for microphone check while we on this subject real quick. Let me show y'all how they trying to hijack. But this is a great documentary, man. This is a black documentary. Y'all go check this out, man. This thing, listen, man, I had my whole family tapped in. I'm telling you, it was really, really awesome, and we really, really gathered. Y'all know it's the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Come on, man. We setting all kind of legacies and and we setting so many keynotes, and we're not getting credit for it, y'all. They literally trying to eliminate us and trying to wash us down and erase us, man. Come on, man. We got to get it together. Here you go. I'm going to run it.
It's the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and we still have a lot of discrepancies as far as the origins of hip hop, a lot of claims, who did what, who was the first this, who was the this and that, and such. But at the end of the day, we need a definitive story, all right? And that story can only be told by the founders of this culture.
A new documentary looks to set the record straight on the origins of hip-hop. Microphone Check, The Hidden History of Hip-Hop, explores the genre's roots and debunks myths about how it all started.
The film is coming to Chicago theaters this week, and joining us now is the film's director and hip-hop historian, Tariq Nasheed. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
We've been talking about this anniversary for a while now, and I cannot believe it's 50 years. What is the myth that bothers you the most?
Well, the myth about hip hop that a lot of people are promoting now is that we got hip hop from Caribbean culture, and that's no disrespect to the Caribbean culture, but hip hop came from foundational Black American culture rooted in the South, and it came to the Bronx through the Great Migrations. And we wanted to just set the record straight. The people in the Bronx at the time when they were creating hip hop, they were listening to the old funk and soul records of their parents that their parents had, and they were using those to rhyme over, and they were using those records to break dance over. So we just wanted to tell the whole true story about the genre and the culture and where it really came from.
So what about the story of this starting at a 1973 party? Is that where it all began?
Now, there has been a lot of misconceptions about that as well. Some people say that it started, hip hop was bubbling around 1970. Some people said it was bubbling around 1969. The party in 1973, and we discussed that in depth in the film. There's a lot of myth and mythology around that party itself. That wasn't the actual start of hip hop, but that was the start of a DJ named Kool Herc, who became one of the main proponents and promoters of what would become hip hop culture. Because what he did, instead of doing what a lot of the other disco DJs did in New York at the time, he focused primarily on those funk break beats and catered to the young teenage crowd. So that kind of set him apart and gave him his own lane, and that trajected the culture of hip hop.
Tell me if I'm reading this right. Were there some comedians who were rhyming earlier than that?
Yes. In 1968, there was a rap song by a gentleman who was a comedian named Pig Meat Markham. He had a record called "Here Comes the Judge," and a lot of the pioneers of hip hop, they said that they were influenced by that record. So there was a lot of rhyming going on in foundational Black American culture for many, many years, going all the way back to the 1920s. So we talk about all of that in the film.
Do you think people have enough of an appreciation for the impact the early days of hip hop has had on all styles of music?
Right. That's why we wanted to talk about the real origin, so that people could have an appreciation for it, so they can understand breakdancing. And breakdancing, that was in the Olympics. Right. It was started by some of the gentlemen in the film, a gentleman.
Listen.
By the name of Trixie, another gentleman by the name of Sasa. People should know Sasa was creating these innovative moves because he was a double jointed guy. So he could do these weird moves and twist his body in a weird way. And that's where a lot of the modern breakdancing moves came from. It came from a double jointed guy. So these things are very interesting that people should know.
Well, it's fascinating. You can see Microphone Check, The Hidden History of Hip Hop at Century Center Cinema on North Clark. It runs from July 19th through July 26th. You can go to microphonecheck.com for more and follow Tariq on Instagram. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Here it is, family. Here it is. And so, like I said, you can get that video also at, I ordered mine off of Amazon. But the brother who produced it, he would rather you not order it from Amazon. He would rather you order it from his microphonecheck.com website, so that he can get all the credentials and get all of the money, the economic gain from it. Absolutely.
That's right.
So I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So it's been 50 years, and rap has evolved in so many different directions. You know, we have, as I understand now, we have gangster rap, we have trap rap. I guess I've left out so many others, but those are the two that I'm aware of, gangster and trap. Mm-hmm. What impact do you think the evolution of rap is now having on our community and young people?
Negative.
Mm-hmm. I'd say the same.
It's a negative impact.
Let's talk about it. Let's go there. Let's go there. Come on, the Professor Voss
When
opened up the door, so let's go there.
So why do you feel that way, Brother Mark? I think he took his.
I think his headphones went dead on it.
yeah.
So we hear you.
Can you hear
By
me?
the way, bro, Mark, them some very quality headphones, man. I mean, they crystal clear. You have a crystal clear sound on that, man. I gotta get some of those. I need to get that brand.
Yeah, man. They on point. Let's see.
But the question was, what are the impacts of the new modernized hip hop you think on our young generation?
Why do you think it's negative?
Why do you think it's negative?
I think it's negative because of the message that's sent in the majority of the song. Like years ago, I remember Ice Cube, when he separated from NWA and he came up with the song No Vaseline.
I remember that.
And he spoke to the fact of, you following what that J guy is pushing. And he's taking all the money. And they've been doing it. And now they're guiding the message that's being taught in the song. So it's a reason why you're rappers with a positive message and a delivery that's uplifting like we used to have. It's amazing how they don't get the airplay. And they don't. So the message is one of deviant behavior. It's one making our women look like whores and sluts and very loose women. And if you think back to the beginning, that's something that they always tried to put on us. They always tried to put that on our women, making them look loose and all this stuff, but they could never make it stick because we carried ourselves in a certain way and our women carried themselves in a certain way. So now it's evolved to them getting us to do the very things that they've been trying to stick on us for umpteen years. So the message is not one that's uplifting, and the message is not one that helps us in any way, shape, or form, other than to once again send us to that prison pipeline or make us have a bunch of unwed mothers and create a bunch of babies. And this is just the percentages are saying. I have to preface this every time, but the percentages are clear. When you have a single mother, the likelihood of that child being involved in negative activities and going to jail is much higher than that of one that's ran by a man or a couple. So they know this, and that's why they amplify this and they push it and they promote it in our community with our music, and they promote actions that create this. So that is why I say it's negative.
So here's the part two to that question, then, Brother Mark. And thank you for all that. So if it's that negative as you have eloquently explained, then my real important question is that why would a political party who say that they have your best interest at hand, why would they entertain you with that genre of music if what you're saying is negative? In other words, why would you have all these rap people to entertain you to discuss these issues that you're talking about? That don't make sense to me. If it's that negative, you're a black man saying it's negative, and then here's a political party who's gonna give you a rap show to talk about your issues. That don't make sense to me.
they want you to continue in the way that you're going. And also they want to garner votes from the youth. They're trying to appeal to the youth. And almost like when Disney put out some of these movies with some of these subliminal things, it's not for the adult, it's for the youth. And that's who they're trying to target.
Absolutely.
But you tell me, but you just said to me that the rap that's being published today, it is causing us to have degenerative behavior in our culture, in our community. So if it's creating this degenerative behavior, then I still don't understand how a political party, what's their strategy then? What's their strategy in taking degenerative type of content and attracting our youth for their vote? It don't make sense to me, brother Mark.
It really don't. It really don't. And for me, only thing it says to me is I see what you think about us. If you think, and the other thing for me is, and we spoke about it, when are we gonna put our foot down and say enough is enough?
No.
When are we gonna say no? You are not gonna put somebody like that on a stage to attempt to talk to me. But you'll have a fit when Trump say black jobs. But you'll put the definition of a black whore on the stage. And this is self-professed. This isn't something that Mark is that magic word judging. This is self-professed. So why would you do that? We have to start putting our foot down about something.
Absolutely.
Because it's hurting our kids. Like we spoke before, our kids, the suicide rates have went up 36%. That is frightening, because I come from a time where that didn't happen.
But brother Mark, you know that you're classified by the Democrats as a low IQ voter. Do you realize that? Do you realize that that's your classification? You are a low IQ voter as a black man.
Yeah, that's what that party says.
Yeah, you're a low IQ voter.
That's what they said. They said about black men.
So
they say you low IQ.
You're a low IQ voter. So the things that we're talking about today, from their perspective, I would imagine, is meaningless because you're a low IQ voter.
Yeah. Yep.
You're a low IQ voter. So what you have to say that don't count.
Exactly.
That's what they say. You're a non-factor.
Right.
That's what they're saying.
And I don't mind putting in public. Listen. Again, I don't discourage nobody in voting. Do what you feel you have to do. I encourage that. In fact, I serve this great country so you could vote freely. But the professor ain't got no vote for him.
Yep.
The professor is protesting. And the reason why I'm protesting is because the only time that they engage black men in this whole political, social, and economic conversation is when they want your vote. And even when they want your vote, they're telling you you're too stupid and intelligent. Just vote. Just vote no matter what.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And
let's go to the comment section, fella. We got a couple of comments in there. We want to make sure we engage in our family in the comment section. Professor, you supposed to be moderating. Let's see what we got here.
I am moderating. Well, because it seems like they're communicating with you on another platform. But I see Brother Zed. Here. Okay, and he talks about how Mark, and I love to see us give each other compliments as black men. And we have to start showing more love as black men toward each other. But here, Zed is saying that Mark was a great influence as a neighbor in his life growing up. I mean,
Wow.
what a wonder, we gotta, you talk about putting each other down, and we shooting each other. That was a wonderful compliment to give another black man. And
Yes,
we need to do more of that.
yes.
Absolutely.
But Professor, we've been trained, we are trained in this society to find the problem in everything. Find, your kid can come home from school with a report card, have 5 A's and 1 F. And what get all the attention? That 1 F. You wasn't doing nothing, da 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 da. So that get all the attention, not the fact that my kid is a stinking genius in 5 of those courses. So we got to find out why the F. No. So, and then at your job, same thing. You constantly trying to find the problem so we can get more production, find the problem, get more production, find the problem. And so that filters into our lives, and we start trying to find problems in our relationships. We start trying to find problems in our everyday, and we tend to treat the people that care most about us just like work and just like we've been trained, and not do just what you said. Man, when I read that from Zed, I got chilled.
Mm.
And, it's just, we have to do more of that because we don't agree with everything that come out of anyone's mouth. We have to be able to say that 85% that I do agree with this gentleman on, or that 50% is worth something, or that 10%. Because if you listen to somebody long enough, you're going to learn something. So we have to start looking at things that way, because and treating our black men and people like our brothers.
Well, let me talk about something that's a big disease in our community. Read a few things to you that's a bad disease that we need to really deal with. And Dr. Zeus probably going to want us to do a separate show on this, right? So, in terms of black men, this is why I was giving Brother Zed such a great compliment, and that's such an important thing that he did by giving me a compliment, and I'll tell you the reason why. There are 3 forms of jealousy in our community. Okay, there are 3 forms of jealousy, attacks that we have in our community, and those 3 are jealousy, where we attack from an intellectual perspective. That jealousy. Then the other jealousy is intuitive jealousy.
Yes.
Okay, and then the other jealousy is creative jealousy. And I can go into those 3 and I'll do a whole nother show, but I wanted to put that on the table as well because it stems from meritorious manumission. And for those who don't know what meritorious manumission is, I'll make it real simple for you. If the master give Brother Mark a piece of bread for snitching on me, then I become jealous of Brother Mark because I'm hungry and I want a piece of bread, and I'm also jealous because Brother Mark was rewarded a piece of bread for hating on me.
Wow.
Now that's a whole nother show that we'll do. But I just want to, Brother Juice talk about that white elephant in the room, and that's a big white elephant that we have among black men. See, we got to start holding each other accountable and start having these hard conversations as black men as well. Okay, and we got to stop being jealous of each other.
Yes, sir. Meritorious manumission is defined as the formal process by which a slave owner can give his slaves their legal freedom. During that period of American slavery from the 1600 to 1865, it was one of the main avenues available for a slave to obtain his or her freedom. This legal or formal release from bondage was one of the most employed methods available to free African Americans. They throw the African American. That ain't how, because back then we wasn't even African American. So think about it, y'all, how they try to spin the language and try to put all this new language on it. Within the American judicial system, slave owners use this promise of manumission to ensure their slaves' obedience and often rewarded faithful servitude with manumission. Manumission involved from a liberal, there go that word, Mark, liberal, you be saying that word all the time, legal interpretation to a process designed to remove freed African Americans from a slave-owning society. So in their mind, they basically thought by being obedient that they would get a special freedom or some type of special, what's the word I'm looking for?
Reward.
Reward, right? They thought they had some type of what's the word they say when you get free, you get some type of refuge. They thought they had a special type of refuge or a special type of release that made them more special than the other enslaved folks. I digress. I land my plane.
So we have that. It's unfortunate that even to this day, there are those of us who appear to do well, and there are those of us who appear not to do so well. And meritorious manumission has been weaponized to pit each other against each other. So if Brother Mark is sitting there munching on a piece of bread and my stomach is growling, rather than me go to Brother Mark and say, Brother Mark, show me what was your strategy? What was your plan? How did you get that piece of bread, brother? I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to knock him in the head and take his piece of bread because I've been put in a desperate situation. What do you think about that?
That sounds about right.
Kind of leaves you speechless, don't you?
And this whole reward system, this system of what is it, $5,000 reward, and stuff like that, these bounties. Same type deal. Depending on what you do for master is what level of reward you receive, whether it be bread or it be freedom. Because the one that told, that tell on the group of slaves that's trying to break free, I'm sure they're gonna get free. And the one that just tell on the slave doing something a little more mediocre, he gonna get some bread or he gonna get a pig foot. So, but like you say, it
might
just
give him
come
a
on
poke
down.
chop. You might give him a poke chop while you out there eating hog maws.
Yeah,
The meritorious manumission guy or woman or mammy, I call them mammies and sambos. They may get a poke chop just for telling the master that you was planning on running away tonight.
Right. So, yeah.
Let me play this quick video, y'all. Y'all want to hear something about where we at in the status of voting? Here we go. Let's run it. Y'all know I like to run my boy Dr. Claude. He always.
They're not shooting you because you're black. They're shooting you because of your social economic condition. You're powerless. They know the only thing you're going to do, they shoot 20 blacks tomorrow. Only thing you're going to do is go out and march. That's all you're going to do. They know that. You have no power and wealth.
Vote for what? Vote for what? Vote for what? Black folk got to learn how to practice group economics. Black Americans spend every penny they get outside their own community.
The economic philosophy of black nationalism only means that we should own and operate and control the economy of our community. The political philosophy of black nationalism only means that the black man should control the politics and the politicians in his own community.
Quit letting people mislead you about voting. Voting ain't worth a damn if you don't have an economy. I have run political campaigns for presidents, for governors, for attorney generals, for congressional people, for mayors and city council people. Politics, voting and politics ain't worth a quarter in voting if you don't have an economy. It's money that controls your politics. You take your money on that first floor and the powernomics concepts that I'm trying to get you all to buy into. You take that money off the first floor, you buy every politician on the second floor. Don't worry about voting, buy them. Right. Be just like the mafia. Be like the mafia. Just buy them. If you can't, they don't have enough money to buy them, then
listen. He said buy them.
Or rent them.
Or rent them.
Be just like the mafia. Be like the mafia. Just buy them. If you can't, they don't have enough money to buy them, then rent or lease them for a while. You rent and lease him. Then you commission him and say, now on this second floor, now that I bought you, just like all this next election, you can see all this money going into all these candidates, billions and millions of dollars. They're buying those politicians. You buy them on the second floor. And then you tell them on the second floor, now, down to the powernomics principles, I bought your rear end. You now take your rear end to the third floor. And on the third floor, that's your court system. I don't care whether it's the Supreme Court or the local superior courts or county courts or city courts or state courts. You buy them.
Ain't that's what Donald Trump did? Put all them Supreme Court justices in place? Man, I'm telling you, you can learn a lot from white folk.
And you tell them on that second floor in the court system, you start taking care of my people and doing right. The courts control the police department. The third floor is the courts and the police department. The police department would not be killing your people and shoot them down if they knew that you had an economy underneath you. They're going to pull in you. How many of you seen police shooting down Jews, for instance, running? How many times they've been shooting down Asians? How many times you see them heard them shooting down American Indians? They only shoot down black folk. You don't have an economy to dictate to the police department or to the court system.
Somebody talk black to me. Somebody talk black to me now. Somebody
Dr.
talk
Claude.
black to me. You heard him kept mentioning this right here. This book, Powernomics. Powernomics. This is a very powerful book. Dr. Claude Anderson. I know it's probably reverse how it's y'all seeing it, but you can see the Dr. Claude Anderson education. He's an educational doctor. You see it? Powernomics.
Everybody should have one in their library. Everybody should have one in their library.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Powernomics.
Everybody should have.
Thank you for that, Professor. We just let y'all know, man. We walk it like we talk it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all give us some feedback on that, bro, Mark.
And if you want to get a bunch of stuff that you normally don't know, once again, Dr. Claude Anderson.
Secrets. That's Dr. Claude. Yeah, boy. Hell yeah, boy. We put down some heavy game right now, y'all.
We're down with Dr. Claude.
But you're still a low IQ voter.
But right, and that's why. But
Chime in
Here's
on that,
one
Brother
big
Mark.
thing. One big thing is that, like for instance, the low IQ voters are the ones that just throw money at somebody and don't expect anything from them. I'll use Simone Biles as an example. What she give Commandment about $3-4 million, and no expectations came along with that. But go girl, go! Our sororities that raised all that money in a matter of no time. What was their expectation? Go girl, go! We can't do that. We gotta move with some kind of a plan. Period. Or you'll be considered a low IQ voter, like
I
the
don't
three
believe,
brothers here.
but I don't believe the bulk of that money came from them. I don't believe it. When have you seen an audit? I don't believe the bulk of that money came from black women.
Probably did.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it because there's too many people. The reason why I don't believe it is because there's too many people in the background that got money. But I don't think that they wanted their identities revealed. That's just the cybersecurity in me. I don't think that the real money people behind the scenes wanted to be identified.
Right.
I get a lot of support from white people. Okay? And let me tell you about white people that got money. White people that got money, they don't want to be up front. They'll make sure that you have the resource. I mean, the ones who got their heart in the right place. They don't want recognition. They don't want to be seen. They just want to see their money work in good fashion. If you're a good steward of money. Those are the white folks that I deal with. They don't want no parade. They don't want no accolade. They don't want no shout outs. They don't want that. So what I'm saying is, people with real money, if they're behind that movement, I just think that that whole thing was underwritten. And I believe that it allowed all the frat women and sororities to have a ski week party. But I refuse to believe that all of that money came from them that quick. I don't believe it. I can't prove it, but I don't believe
George Soros money.
it. Well, money was. And I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that black women don't have the capacity to do that. I'm just saying that I don't believe that they put that money together like that quick. I wish somebody would prove me wrong.
I missed that last part, fellas.
I just said that I don't believe that black women as a whole, not saying that they don't have the capacity to do it, but I don't believe that was all black women money. I don't believe it.
You talking about that raised all that money for Commandment?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And just, the sad thing is, what I don't understand is that how can we organize like that when it comes to something that ain't going to even benefit us? We can stand behind it and support it. But when it's time to say, okay, well, Dr. Juice needs few donations for Urban Matters Matter. Professor Falls needs some donations because he's trying to build a platform for kids to teach them, global digital data, and Brother Mark trying to form an investment club so that we can start. Why nobody can assemble themselves and organize themselves like that in a hurry? They did that shit in like 3 hours. And even if, like you say, Professor Voss, it wasn't all their money, they still supported it. They still stood in the paint and represented like it was their money. Oh, that's all it take, man, for us to just get on code with one another. If we just simply get on code with one another, family, if we just simply just say stand together, it'll scare the hell out of them, man. They'll come knocking on our door like, like, can y'all hear this knock? They'll be knocking our door down overnight, trying to say, hey, what, man, we want part of this. We want, y'all notice, anytime black folks do something, everybody is right there trying to get a piece of it. I don't know if y'all pay attention to that, but we like the most important group in America. That's why they pandering to us so hard this election, because we're valuable and we matter. We're just the only ones that don't realize that we matter. We think that we have to take those little crumbs that fall off the table. We don't understand that we can really build and create our own and develop our own table. And everybody gonna be lining up. Look how everybody try to emulate us right now. Chinese, they try to dance like us. They try to dress like us. Look at the J people. They literally trying to steal our damn our heritage, our identity. That's our identity they trying to steal over there in the motherland over there. And by the way, them J people over in Israel, that's North Africa, nigga. That's called North Africa. That ain't called no damn Israel. Right. That's North Africa. Just to keep y'all, to keep it above 100. So look how everybody try to emulate us and want to be us. We don't understand our value. We are the chosen ones. And we have to start getting on code with that. And we got to start resonating with that. And we got to start using that to our advantage. I'm telling you, if right now we're 100% consumers and 0% producers, if the black culture, the Black American Foundation of Black American Culture just said, guess what? We're going to start participating in the economy. Man, they'll go fucking crazy. Y'all excuse my French. They'll go crazy. The world would literally stop. They got that movie called The Day That the World Stood Still. The world would stand still. If you just stop, if you withhold your dollars and withhold your vote, you can change things overnight. I digress. I land my plane.
I agree. We got to understand where our power. See the way, remember, they talk about you hit somebody with an open hand and you have no power. You don't feel it as much as when you put all of it together and form a fist. That fist gonna create many more problems than that open hand. So we have to start back doing that. Yeah. Can voting have some sort of power and some sort of effect? Yes, it can. But the way we're voting, it has none. Because we don't vote as a group, as a block. And we don't vote for interest. We vote for like.
Yes, sir.
We got to vote for our interests. The Democrats will never get my vote simply because of this whole alphabet stuff and what y'all trying to do with kids. I'm not voting for that ever. I got grandbabies. No, sir. If you want to, you want my vote, change that.
Wait a minute. You don't want. Wait a minute, Mark. Hold on. So you're telling me you don't want your grandson to wear a dress?
No, sir. No, sir.
What was wrong with that?
That's not reflective of his grandfather. And I want my grandson to be reflective of his grandfather.
Well, according to them, the grandfather, you're toxic. That's toxic. You're masculine and you're toxic.
Right.
You're toxic.
And one thing about us old toxic men, when the stuff hit the fan, who do they run behind? And who do they run to for protection? They run to us toxic people.
So you're telling me that you would not follow Kamala into danger? Would you follow her into danger? Would you let her lead you into a fight? You're military man.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
You're definitely toxic.
And I wouldn't let her lead me into a fight, not because she's a woman. It's because of her history and what type of woman she has been and what she over and over and over and over again, what she demonstrates. If I can't believe her on her ethnicity, why would I believe her on anything she tell me about a reason for me to go into a fight? You know?
So let me jump on Trump for a minute because, like I said, I don't care about either one of them, but
okay.
One of the things about Trump, man, if he was such a genius and businessman, my big thing with him is that he talked about bringing these businesses back to America, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at the inner cities, when you look at the depressed areas, when they started out, that's where the businesses were originally, right? That's why we had the Great Black Migration. That's why the Black people moved from the South. They migrated from the South to the big cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then those companies, they pulled out of the big cities, Chicago, New York, DC, all these big cities,
Detroit.
and it left. That's what created the ghettos. So my question to Mr. Trump is that then, if you're going to bring these businesses back to America, what strategy do you have to relocate some of those businesses? Will some of those manufacturing businesses, will it come to the Black community, right? So that we can make something. Right now, we're all consumers. Do you realize in every major city in America, there's a 50% unemployment rate among Black men? 50%.
Well, my thing is, see, I understand that concern, but I'm not looking for either of the people to be able to solve all the ills in one sit down. I want somebody to fight to bring the jobs here. You being a business owner, you know as well as I do that what you do with your business is up to you and your shareholder, where you put it, all that type stuff. Now, there can be incentives to make them want to move to that factory again or whatever, but I need somebody to attempt to do some stuff to make America first. And America first, that also means that I got more money to make Black first. And we'll have more money here in America to operate with on our Black first platform. So I get that concern, but I think that should be one of those concerns in addition to. So we got somebody who actually want to bring jobs back, whereas on one side they don't want to bring jobs back. So with me, I think I'll lean toward bringing jobs here first, and then we can discuss what the heck you're going to do once they get here. Because I need get them back, and now we need to talk about how we're going to get Black first on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just see it as steps.
I agree with that. So what would be your strategy then? What would be your strategic idea in terms of making sure that Black men have access to resources so that we can provide and protect and build our families?
You, I think we kind of spoke. I think me and Dr. Juice kind of spoke on this together. I think we ought to start sitting down. 100 black men from Lake Wales, Polk County, whatever. We start with we'll sweep around our own front door first. So I'm gonna say right here in our city, we sit down. Democrat, Republican, Independent. By the way, I am independent. And everybody, black men. I don't want nothing but black men there. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit down and we're gonna actually go through some of this stuff. You know, because a lot of these bills and things, these laws that are passed, and these monies that are given out, we'll vote. Let's say vote for Trump or vote for Biden, but we won't look at this $1 billion that they gave here, or another billion that they gave there, and then create a strategy to get a piece of the pie.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't care who in the White House, they always giving money somewhere. So we gotta actually increase our knowledge base on what's actually going on monetarily, grant wise, and so forth, program wise, and we gotta utilize that knowledge in our local area in order to reap the benefits of it.
Okay, so here's a question for you. Imagine this. Imagine a black man conference at the Lakeland Civic Center. How could that happen? Now, don't tell me you don't have the money, because when I look at the car show, in Orlando, and I see all those beautiful vehicles, everybody riding on 24 of them things, don't tell me you don't have the money.
Lake Wales, Martin Luther King.
So
Winter Haven.
So tell me, so my question is, what would keep you from having a black man conference at the Lakeland Civic Center? Everybody in Polk County. What would it take?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to even say that. I'm not even going to say that. I'm going to say word of mouth. I'm going to say we got to create motivating factors in order to get us out, because we have to stop. Men are staying home and women are running around doing God knows what, creating all this stuff, but men are staying home. So we have to get off our tailbone, and we got to get active, and we got to stop following in our house. And we got to lead in our house and go down.
I love it.
And let's learn something. We got to go down and learn some stuff that's going to help either our household or our cousin or our neighbor. We all know somebody that can be affected by one of these grants or programs. And if we get that going, then we can do the very same thing when it's time to vote.
Well,
we don't need Trump or Biden to lay out Kamala or Trump's indiscretions. We can lay it out on the big screen.
Well, let me play devil.
Professor Vaught, let me interject.
All right.
Let me interject and let me piggyback off of what Brother Mark just quoted. And me and you was having this conversation earlier. I heard Brother Mark just say we need to take advantage of some of these grants and whatnot. What's happening with the bourgeois and the boule so-called black leaders in this country, especially in our town, that are taking the funds and misappropriating these funds and not doing right with it, which makes it in return makes it harder to receive future endorsements and futures endowments and future grants. And it just puts more pressure on the community when it comes to auditing and tracking and being more accountable for these funds that are coming into our community. Because I'm gonna just let y'all know, I'm in a community up in Central Florida, a little bit north of where we are right now. I won't say any names of the counties or whatever. Professor Voss know what I'm talking about. But man, they flooding this county with all kinds of finance and funding and into the alleged underserved communities. And I might say, because I'm up there on the ground myself, the community that they flooding it is a black community. You know, so all you people out there talking about black jobs, they flood money with the black community, and it's coming straight out of Tallahassee. And they putting all kind of money trying to build these communities because drugs have literally affected these communities so bad, these black communities so bad, that somebody somewhere got a heart and want to see that empowerment, economic empowerment, can come back into those communities and try to at least build up the infrastructure as far as the housing. And I see so many dope, drug addict, drug-ridden people walking around, and homelessness and just alcoholism, and just, it's sad, man. I mean, you think Lake Wales bad? Oh my God, you see this place here, man, you'll be like, oh my goodness.
Well, let me answer that question for you right quick. Okay. First of all, let's make sure you understand the roles. These people you're talking about, the Boule, they are not leaders. They are incompetent administrators. They're not leaders. Okay. They, a good many of them, they come out of these HBCUs and these Greek societies. And these are the people that the establishment picked to administer the trickle-down funds to you. Now, what's the problem? It's real simple. They greedy. Now, I'm not going to put HBCUs on blast because I'm still trying to do a little business with a couple of them, but you do research yourself and look at how many HBCUs are caught up in some embezzlement scandal right now.
Absolutely.
The same money, it don't matter. It don't matter whether it came from Trump. It don't matter where it came from Biden. My issue with it is what you do when you get the money. And right now, there's about 4 of them that's caught up into embezzlement scandals. How do you deal with that, Brother Mark?
Well, I think that, it's restructuring. But once again, I go back to my original statement: sweep around your own front door. I want to get this community jumping. And when we send them babies up to them HBCUs and they ain't getting what they supposed to get, then they got to deal with us. Because now we'll be done built our community, and we'll be sending our representation to that HBCU, and we won't receive. And that's how we got to get as a people. We got to start wanting receipt. I want to get something for this. I'm sending you my most valuable package. What are you going to teach them? Why is it they're not receiving what they should be getting? You've gotten billions of dollars or millions or whatever the number is. So I sent them to your school because your school got X amount of dollars for science and technology. So why is it for the STEM stuff? Why is it that you're not giving them the adequate supplies to finish this program? See, when we start getting that dog in us with people and wanting to see our receipts, that's when things gonna start changing for us on all levels. But now we just lay down for everything.
Exactly.
Oh, you're gonna raise taxes 2 pennies? Okay, what can we do? Well, in Nigeria, they was rioting. I remember in England they tried to raise the retirement age 1 or 2 years, and those young people lost their mind. Same thing, rioted in the streets.
I remember that. And matter of fact, you speaking on that, Brother Mark, they're rioting right now over in England. A lot of these immigrants are committing all kind of crimes and stuff, these Muslim immigrants and whatnot. And man, it's like I say, man, it's a lot going on, family. Y'all are not paying attention. Y'all are being heavily distracted. And these brothers are dropping jewels right now. These brothers are dropping some hot facts. And you really better pay attention to this platform and start tuning in more regularly, because I'm telling you, we're bringing the hot facts. But let me ask y'all a question real quick, bro, Mark and Professor. With all this being said tonight, how are we going to make money going forward? How are Black people going to make money? I mean, when we vote and all the voting is said and done, we already just showed that Kamala Harris does not have an economic agenda. She does not have an economic strategy to combat inflation, right? We just saw that, right? Earlier, right, fellas?
Yes.
Who is behind the scenes calling the shots? Some people say that Obama is still running the government, if you want to be honest. He really think he is hot shit. And that joker did nothing for us. So my question is, let me see, I got somebody else coming in. We got some more folks coming into the building. Oh, we got Brother Zed coming in. Hey, Brother Zed, we need to go back to some of these comments too. Minister Goodbar say, why the Black woman never negotiate with the white man who tricked them out of the black man? Example, food stamps, Section 8, WIC, child support. He said, because that's just not enough. And then he also said, have you read The Secret Teachings for All Ages written by Manly P. Hall? I love Manly P. Hall. Thanks for that update, Mr. Goodbar. He said, that's the new school. He said, that's the original document. Okay, so we got that brother in there. Hey, Brother Zed, thanks for joining us, my dude. Chime in, tap in with us, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Turn your microphone on. You with us? We can't hear you, bro. I think your microphone may be on mute. I got you open on my end, unless you're in a bad area. You probably, brother Z, probably in a bad area. Excuse me, y'all.
While you waiting on him,
go ahead, Professor.
I just want to mention from while you call me, Professor, I appreciate that. But I'm also in law enforcement now. Okay, law enforcement, cybersecurity, and what I'm telling you that I'm seeing embezzlement, I'm seeing greed, and because these administrators, these incompetent administrators, you know, because of the greed, they have no idea of the technology that law enforcement have today. We live in a digital world. We see you. We see the fraud. We see the collusion. And it blows my mind to see the level of incompetence in our community because we like the technology skills. And that's not to say if you had better technology skills, you would be a better criminal. But I will say that because you lack technology skills and you out there doing stuff, you look like a real stupid criminal. You know, and because of that greed, because we've never had nothing, we're so economically depressed. When we get a little money, now we got all kind of fraud going on. It's just like in your own community. I was asked today about that law y'all got down there, right? Look at all of the money that has come into your neighborhood, Mark, that's not accounted for. You take B Street Center. I've always said this. The B Street Center, the last money that they got was almost 10 years ago. okay? And they got $50,000. They haven't done an audit in a decade. Now, we're talking about local funds. We're talking about city and county funds. Let me tell you what I know about white people, all right, and the government, and what they know about black people, and the situation that you're in right now. They've given you just enough money to mess up so that they can tell you no. You didn't do an audit for B Street. You haven't gotten any money at the B Street Center in over a decade. Then you got a little bit of money. You had a crooked lawyer. You had a crooked lawyer that went down there and got a little money. What did they do? They put paint in the middle of the road. My question is,
show us some of that footage, Professor.
My question is, this is the best. Let me pull it up.
We got to skin this monkey.
Let me pull that up. Give me a minute. Oh, no.
And my problem with that, as soon as I saw it, was if your ancestors mean something to you, if your pioneers mean something to you, you don't put them where they're beneath someone's feet or where people can spit on it. Yes.
So check this out. Now watch this. Now, you got some money for the community, okay? And we got all kind of community. I mean, when the last time you had a voters registration down there, Dr. Juice?
In a minute.
Right.
One sister did it. Miss Street, she did it with Miss Topsy's catering service. She's very active. I got to give her flowers. Why we can give her flowers. She has been active and she has been putting down some work in the community. She's been gathering names, addresses, emails. She's been signing. She even brought one of the Bartow representatives over from the voter registration office and got almost, I think, a couple of hundred people registered to vote who were not active voters. So I got to give that sister I got to salute that sister.
She's a business owner. She's a business owner.
There you go.
Business owners, they tend to think like that. But here's a couple points I want to make. Okay. Now, you got a little bit of money to come in the community. Okay. So help me understand a couple things here. You got a so-called leader, as you like to call them. I don't call them leaders. That you consider to be a gatekeeper. And the only thing that they could think of was to pay somebody else. These people are not from Lake Wells. These people are from somewhere else.
Absolutely.
But you paid them to spill paint all over your street. And I can sit here for the rest of the night and come up with some ideas and give you some suggestions that money would have had a greater impact rather than put some paint. And I'll be honest with you. When I saw that, that's what I call ego. That is ego of some sort. But here's the other point that I want to make. And I'll put this on Brother Mark. So, Brother Mark, if you was a government official that was tied to grant money, and this is the only thing that this group of people could come up with the money, and the money was supposed to be intended to uplift the community, but this is the only thing that they could come up with. How would you feel about that?
Oh, Dr. Juice, know how I feel. I was outraged from the very beginning. From the very beginning. Outrage. It's a sad display. And what that is, that's some more of that LGBTQ movement type stuff. That Black Lives Matter stuff. Because remember, that was a little trend of what they were doing in certain in intersections, painting on the roadway.
Oh, we have one. I can show you where they got it. I'll show you where they got that idea from. Let me show you.
Yeah, they did it in a few cities, but you don't do that with someone's history.
Absolutely. Brother Z, welcome back. Welcome back. Brother Z, welcome back.
You paint on walls, but you don't paint on the ground.
Let me show you where that idea came from, because it came from Atlanta.
Why is this thing not connected?
Pull that up, Dr. Juice. You better not talk bad. That's Atlanta Pride crosswalk. And again, folks can do what they want to do, but I'm just letting you know where the origins came from to put the paint in your community.
Rainbow Coalition.
Right.
To put the paint in your community.
Yep. Oh yeah. I was it was just crazy.
See, let me talk about the rainbow movement for a minute. And a lot of times, then people want to throw you're hating. No, we entitled to talk about whatever we want, and this ain't about hate. This is about facts. Let's take a look at that concept right now. So there's no religion that you can put in the school system right now. You can't put Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, Christian, nothing. But you can put pride in the school. So let's talk about pride for a minute, right? Let's talk about it. In my belief, pride is about not liking who you are and creating an image of what you want to be that, with a sexual connotation to it, with no moral boundaries around it. For instance, would you, and I'm just asking straight up, this ain't hating nobody, nothing like this, but would you want either one of you got grandkids, I don't have grandkids, but would you want your grandkid to be at a pride parade? That's a question for both of you.
No.
Why? What's wrong with it?
It don't reflect anything in it. It don't reflect anything that I would want my grandson, young men in my family to project. It's not a positive male image. It's actually people with mental dysphorias going on. And I don't, that's like saying, are you guys gonna go to the crazy house tomorrow or on your weekends? I'm not doing that. No.
But you hate, but now that's hate language.
Well, that's not hate language, that's love language.
Y'all see this right here, what I got pulled up? LGBT.
Yeah, I see that.
And this Black Lives Matter, and I got peep game on this because of the mission statement one day. I was reading a mission statement and all of that, and I'm like, and every time I looked around, it just said LGBT. Now, what Black Lives Matter right here? What that got to do with LGBTQ? You see how they'll take our struggle, piggyback off of it, get resources, and then the whole time eliminate and X us out of the whole equation.
Right.
This thing LGBT, that LGBT voices in the conversation. That's
but
why we
wasn't
part
June,
with the Black Coalition. Man, I'm done.
Wasn't June LGBTQ History Month?
Correct. They done literally hijacked
So
Juneteenth.
it's October now too?
Exactly. It's every.
It's gonna be every month before you know it.
I just had to point that out, man. Go ahead. I digress.
No, I'm not. I'm just using that. I look at that as a culture. I look at it as a rainbow culture, and everybody, hey, everybody's entitled to have their own culture. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if you don't see a rainbow political party. It wouldn't shock me one bit if a rainbow political party came out of this. Now, you're telling me that
Ooh,
you
that's
don't
better.
want your grandchild exposed to that culture, but you got people in your community telling you to vote no matter what, no matter whether or not your grandchild, your grandson might have the possibility of being convinced that it's okay for him to wear a dress. And you're saying that you don't want your grandson to wear a dress. So how do you
And
deal
that's
with that? How do you deal with that? How do you deal with vote no matter what, with that possibility being in there, and then you being shamed? You're being shamed into not prescribing to vote no matter what. Help me with that.
well, be ye not transformed in the ways of the world. I walk with that, you know, and I'm not gonna be transformed into these ways. That's wrong. So if you want to call it a culture, which it can fall in the definition of a culture, that's not a culture that I will embody, and that's not a culture that I endorse. So me being the elder and me being the leader, I will not expose, or I won't be a part of, how do I say? I'll say unsupervised exposure to this culture. Because I think it's important for the exposure to happen. But I lived on this earth for 55 plus years for a reason. And I've learned a lot. And my seed will be the beneficiaries of that, if no one else. So I'm not going to exhibit those behaviors, and I'm going to give supervised introduction into that. And I will be the person who's talking them through it, because I understand what it is. It's nothing more than population control. So I want my seed to go on for thousands of years, just like my grandfather and my great great grandfather's seed did. And it cannot happen if my grandson chooses to be a part of that culture.
I know, based on what I know from that culture, you would be regarded as toxic masculinity, sir.
Yes, sir.
You're toxic. That's all that you just said is toxic.
And the God I read about is toxic too. And so I'm in good company. All the majority of the guys, including you, who put their life on the line for this country or offered their body up to this country, the majority of them are toxic too. And they wouldn't be able to walk the streets and carry on the way they do if it wasn't for these toxic males. They wouldn't have these streets beautifully paved and these wonderful cities and these air conditioned buildings if it weren't for these toxic males. So we just have to put all that in the context. So I feel like I'm in great company when somebody say you're toxic, good. Because if I'm toxic, so hopefully I can spread my toxic ways to my grandkids and the other people, so we can continue to move forward in this country. because that's what happened to France. France was a powerhouse militarily for many years, and they started sitting back on their laurels, and then this whole gay thing started happening, and they started becoming soft, and they didn't want to do this and so forth, and then they just became a non-factor. So we have to pay attention to stuff like that. Same thing happened to the Greeks. So we have to just pay attention to stuff like that. This is like one of those cyclical things that happens in history.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You become a powerhouse.
A lot of our folks just have cognitive dissonance. That's what I've wrote it off on, Brother Mark.
Yes, sir.
They have cognitive dissonance, and cognitive dissonance is a psychological disorder. And that's just the bottom line.
Yes, sir. And I just it's real important for us to, and if we put them babies first, let's not worry about, me being great. Let's not worry about you being great. Let's just worry about our babies being the best.
That's what I'm
presentation. And if we put them first and stop just tossing iPad or phone at them, then I think we can get some wonderful results.
So I have a question then. I'll tell you.
Yes, sir.
I got plenty of questions. So when I think about what I call community underutilization, and what does that mean? I'm saying that you have underutilized church buildings, and you have underutilized teachers and other professionals in your community. Okay? So how would you recommend galvanizing those underutilized resources to better educate these babies that you're talking about? How would you come up with a strategy to address that?
I would say in a perfect world, the strategy would be to actually go to these resources. Go to these resources because all of them have kids in that church. And then we start there. We start the program in each church individually. And then we have, I'll call it a convocation. Once a week, month, whatever, where everybody come together. And we can do little fun things like debates and things like that. Now we're talking about among the kids. And what is that doing? That's getting them accustomed to being able to toss thoughts at each other and not see it as a life or death struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I can disagree with you, and I don't have to kill you. And we train them in things like that. We train them in effective ways to communicate, effective ways to listen and take in information. So that's one way, by going to each church and we make a plan with them to utilize our resources to help their kids.
Well, can I stop you? Can I stop you right there for a minute?
Go ahead.
So, based on my experience and observation, if I'm Reverend, Doctor, Bishop, Prophet, somebody, I'm doing I'm doing my own thing. And what I've also noticed, and typically, and please correct me, but in a black church, all they want to talk about is Jesus. If you come in with anything outside of Jesus, they're gonna say, well, Brother Evans, we only talk about Jesus. We don't. This is the Lord's house, and the issues that you want to discuss, it don't belong in this church. So I'm gonna continue being Prophet, Bishop, Doctor, Reverend Chicken.
Rather chicken nothing burger.
Yeah.
Hey, let me play this right here, man, to kind of piggyback off of what y'all saying and why we can shed a little insight on what's really happening right here. And y'all tell me what y'all think about this commentary right here. Y'all just tell me real quick. Here we go.
Very, very simple thing that if you have a certain world.
Y'all got that?
Yes.
Very, very simple thing that if you have a certain worldview, and conservatives have one worldview and progressives have a very different one, if you have a certain worldview that doesn't allow you to see the facts, you won't see them. And the reason is very simple. In general, when you perceive something comes into your eyes, you have about a tenth of a second before it becomes conscious, and it will change in that tenth of a second to fit what you already know or believe. It will change fast. And it changes either, this is flashes of light will change, things you touch will change, all of those things will change, and ideas will change. So when you have facts that come in that won't fit the way that you understand the world, then you won't, the way you understand the world is going to change, is not going to change. The facts will either be ignored, ridiculed, or attacked because they will threaten the way you understand the world or not threaten them. People be happy with the way you understand the world and ignore the facts. But the frames that frame the facts are part of your brain. They're physical. All ideas are physical. They're in your brain. When they come in, that part of your brain is not going to change. And so you have lots of people in this country who have conservative worldviews, and they just don't see it. It's not like they're denying it. It's not like I know that fact and I'm going to deny it. It's like it's not even a fact.
Yes.
Go ahead, Professor. Continue.
Well, in that particular case, and we are bad. Black people, Black Americans, we have been so traumatized through oppression. In a lot of cases, it's very difficult for us to cope with reality. That's why you find a lot of us, we have so many different coping mechanisms. We cope through drugs. We cope through alcohol. We even cope through Jesus. Look at some of our, mainly our women. What I've observed statistically, this is a statistic. This ain't bashing nobody. This is all data. Typically, when a Black woman come out the streets, she come out the streets around, she's moving toward 50. And if there's no available man for her as a companion, typically, she finds Jesus. I know several strippers right now, women who were strippers, bro. And now they have found Jesus. Now, I'm not criticizing that. I'm just saying that because of our state of affairs, that seems to be the only suitable option for them, or at least the ones that they're willing to take. That's why most of your churches are 80% women. Okay. The pastor understands that because that's his source of revenue.
Right.
And he's going to make
Pastor Pork Chop.
Pastor Pork Chop, Ham Hock. And he's going to make sure that you and Jesus have a relationship because that is revenue to him. That's why 80% of your black churches have women. And here's the other thing. I don't know if I asked Brother Mark this, but I ask again. I always ask this question. Have you ever seen a black woman persuade a black man to sell his body on the street? Ever?
No, sir.
Okay. But in your life experience, you've seen plenty of black men convince black women to sell their body on the street, right?
Yes, sir.
You want to know why?
Emotions.
And your emotions can be manipulated. Emotions can be manipulated. That's why in a heterosexual relationship, you have two wings on a bird. You need two wings to fly. You need wings to balance each other. Okay? You need that provider and protector. And then you need that nourisher. Now, that protector theoretically will protect the woman from being manipulated. That's why I give an example. My daddy growing up had a rule of thumb. The insurance man and all those peddlers, bro, you couldn't come to my house with that. My daddy did not allow that. Why? Because he knew that those salespeople can manipulate the woman. That's why some men you can't come to the house with that. Mm-mm. And I'll tell you something else. When the police come to your house, anybody like that, right? What do they say? I need to speak to the man in the house. Nobody never, unless, well, I don't know these days, but old school, I like to speak to the man in the house. That's old. So my point is that it's unfortunate, but our women can be easily manipulated. So that's why they say, and they're proud to say this, that the black woman is the backbone of the Democratic Party. And what they're really saying is that the black woman is the backbone of the Democratic Party, and we can easily manipulate her.
Right. Right. We have mastered the manipulation of her.
And one other thing that I was going to point out earlier. And when you look at it from a historical perspective, when we were colored, while we was picking fruit or doing whatever, we made the money. We provided. But when you were saying the black man sitting at home, part of the reason why he's sitting at home is because he can't find no work. Why do you think they're talking about black jobs? So if she is bringing in the money because she got a job, they're going to let her have a job. Then she's going to have a certain attitude about that. This is where the whole masculine attitude comes because, number one, she mad that she got to pull the wagon. I get that. I would be, if I was a woman, I would be pissed off too. But the problem that has created in our culture is a really, really bad problem. And that's why you're getting all of these conflicts. That's why 4 out of 5 black relationships wind up in a divorce. That's why 70% of black children born in America is born to single mothers, can't find a daddy. Now, let me talk about the brothers for a minute, and I'm going to rest on that because a lot of people think that I'm hard on the sisters, and I'm not. But let me tell you about it, and I've been wanting to say this about the brothers. Bruh, if you reading on If your child reading skills is below standards and you riding around on 24s, that's a problem, bro. That's a problem. If your child, if your boy or girl is at those public school systems, terrorizing the teachers, terrorizing the other students, that's a problem. I have a problem with that.
Agree.
We need to hold each other accountable for that type of community behavior. What do you think about that, bro, Mark?
I agree with it 100%. I and that's part of what, and I agree with you about the program. That's why the first thing I said was in a perfect world with the churches, because you have the ego issue. But yes, if your child is running amok in the school, that's a problem. And you got to stop standing up for foolishness. You know right from wrong if your child don't, and your child know right from wrong. So if you're being more of a hindrance, then that need to be dealt with. And if y'all don't want to deal with it, then we have ways to deal with it. But they always we because we have to have our own policing method just like every other group does. You know, when 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 people get out of line, they have to know that it's not tolerated and they have to feel like there's gonna be consequences for it. We don't nowadays it's like, oh, I just do what I want, and the only time consequences come is when judge, let me take off let me put on the right robe, come and tell you what's gonna happen to you, and we can't do that. We the first time our kid deal with judgment, it can't be in a courtroom. They have to deal with judgment at home,
Absolutely.
in the community, and that will help keep them away from the courtroom.
Absolutely.
So, so yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Um, you can't move like that. Where so, and here's the other thing. All this. I'm at football. I'm at Pee Wee football and all that mess, and your kid can't even read or can barely read, but they can run a football. No, 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 no. That's unsatisfactory. We
Absolutely.
can't. You know, no. You're misrepresenting us.
So do you think, do you believe that if, I see most of these pastors that I see in your community, they are so self-absorbed with themselves about being a prophetess or a pastor or a bishop or prophet or whatever they call themselves. What responsibility in the community do you think that they should have outside of Jesus to contribute to the elevation of the community, other than having people pay tithes every Sunday?
I think, there's a reason why, when you're going for like different programs, higher level programs, they accept they accept letters from your pastor, they accept letters from police chief, stuff like that. Because you should be at a higher level in your community as a pastor. Higher level in your community don't mean you got the biggest church in your community. It means you got the biggest reach in your community, or you have a large reach in your community. And your works should be should be reflective of that. So running around talking about I'm a pastor, I'm Deacon Dr. Doug, that don't mean anything. If only thing you're doing is collecting checks from a whole bunch of women who want a motivational speech on Sunday that to help get them through the next week. So we
Facts.
we get we got to get bigger than that. You know, if you want to make more money, just simply let the community start seeing you doing things.
Absolutely.
So
How about getting a
so
job?
oh, I agree. I'm like Pastor Geno Jennings. You should be going to work every day, or however you need to go to work, whether you be a business owner or whatever. But your work shouldn't be working my woman or your woman out of her money, or my mama or my grandma out of her money. And you show no receipts for what you do with that money. See, that's the thing. That you getting all this money every week, and I understand you got church bills to pay, but after the bills are paid, then what? If one of your parishioners come and say they need their lights on, so many of these churches, I would say the majority, just have a cute little saying for you. Well, God do bless the child to have their own, or whatever. That's no. So yes, sir. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. I think pastors should be out there just like what we saying. Matter of fact, they should be leading the charge of cleaning up and making our communities look like they should look.
Well, they said, and I'm not. We said, well, I guess I am beating up on the churches because and here's why.
I hit it too fast.
When the black community traded ownership for integration, and we lost all our businesses, the only thing was left was the church in the community. What other organization? You don't have a school that's black like it used to. You got organizations there in Lake Wells that I've had. You got the Green and Gold, and you have all these do nothing organizations that I haven't seen contribute to nothing. So what do you have left? What do you have left that's an organization that could contribute to the betterment of the community? What do you have?
I remember like NAACP would be collecting money and so forth. And they not doing nothing here. Why would I give them, you know, my money? You know, and I mean, you're right. I mean, come on, let's do something for ourselves. Don't depend on these national organizations that were created by white folk that they control. Let's do it here for ourselves. Period. And one thing about I've learned about us is we tend to flock to success or the image of success. And when I say that, I mean like celebrity and stuff like that. Let Amari come to town and you'll have 100 people around him. Just to be in the area. You have, you know, so you have people come and they want to be there. Or if let's say you got the biggest church in the city, and also everybody want to come and because you're gonna be there. Kirk Franklin gonna be in town. Woo, woo, let's go. So we have to we have to have that same exuberance for our community people who make a difference, and stop going national and stop going with all these people that are given to us, because most of them don't represent us when they're given to us. So it just takes normal people, word of mouth, and we got to start showing receipts.
So how can we? So when we talk about the youth, you know, I lecture quite a bit on digital transformation, cybersecurity, smart technology, data analytics. How can we inspire these babies toward technology? Because when you think about technology, when you look over the last several decades, it was technology that has created the greatest wealth in America. Nothing else has created wealth in America over the last 2 decades other than technology. Nothing. So how do we lead our babies into that mindset? How do we inspire them to embrace technology? Because that's where the wealth growth is right now, Dr. Juice. How do we do it?
I think the way to do it is with those little games, with those little games that, you know, like the little app games and stuff. If we can have that, then because these kids, they be on that thing just playing those games, and let those be the type of games that they play with, or what series of games that they play. And at each level, they get better and better and start receiving more and more knowledge.
Well, one of the methodologies that I had the opportunity to experience during the time I was doing research and as a visiting professor in Europe, I was often amazed how other cultures were able to integrate educational activities into their technology. Where in other words, in America, we prohibit the use of cell phones and technology in the classroom. In fact, this year, there are a lot of schools who are making the students give their phones up before they go in the classroom. Where in the European world, I've witnessed them actually integrating the use of the smartphone into their academic activities. Now, while the school system might not subscribe to that, what's keeping us from doing that? We have the expertise. I know how to do that. There are other people that know how to do that. So why aren't we educating our youth from that perspective? And why can't we do it in these, what I call, underutilized church buildings?
Great question, Professor. Great question. That's just empty real estate that is not being occupied 6 days of the week. And you could be running you can be running food ministries out there. You can be running, like you said, schools for educational purposes, technological purposes. You could be running them. Yeah, I don't understand. But we the only community that do that now, because some of these other ethnic groups, white folks and all, they utilize their building for education and electronics and technology, and we the only ones, man. We just, like the professor say, man, we only stuck on, religion.
Let me give you an idea. How about this one, Dr. Juice? What would it take to organize an effort? Because I'm going to use your term. You always want people to get on code. Go get on code, get on code. So let me give you a good get on code idea, and you tell me what's stopping us from doing that. Imagine this. What if all the churches got on code and said, look, we're going to recruit all the retired teachers. You got retired black teachers all over Polk County.
Wow,
Right?
that's big. That's a great idea.
So watch this out. Watch this idea now. So number one, I'm taking your ideas that you just gave me. I'm gonna take Brother Mark's idea. All right, I'm gonna build a database. Now I got all the black churches over here that I can approach. I got all of them in my database. Now I got another database of all the retired black teachers in Polk County. I might have 200. Okay, so now all of the black churches agree that every Saturday, we're gonna have workshops on STEM, and we're gonna also have workshops on reading and math. Wow. All of the things that our black students are on the bottom. We're on the bottom of every measure in academics, math, reading, history. So the way we're gonna fix that, we're gonna go to these underutilized churches and say, hey, every Saturday at 3 o'clock, we're gonna have food, we're gonna have voters registration, we're gonna have health seminars, right? We got nurses, and we're gonna have tutoring every Saturday. Every church is gonna commit to providing their resources to do that I don't care what church, Church of God by Jesus, Church in Heaven, whatever the name is, they all made a commitment that on Saturday, we're going to have an open door health, education, business, and job fair. Now, I want y'all to tell me what's stopping black folks.
Hey, Breezy, cut that shit up. We're going to save that on the next episode.
Yeah.
That's a great question. We're going to save that question for the next episode, Professor. So, signing off, y'all. Hey, Breezy, cut that shit up. Appreciate y'all for joining us. Y'all heard the Professor question now. Y'all heard the Professor question. What's stopping us? Black churches, what's stopping us? That's going to be our next episode. We're coming in. We're tuning in to you tomorrow. We'll be tuning in 5 p.m., 6 p.m., same time. Y'all join us. Peace. Hey, fellas, salute.
Yeah. Salute to you, my brother.